Thanks, Ron. And let me just ask one question of the panel, and then I'll open it up to questions. Ron, one of the things that Akil talks a lot about is how the founders, the framers of things like the 14th Amendment are lost to history while we're all having 10-part documentaries on, minor figures from the founding era. And you would think that this is something that Senator Obama would care a lot about if he is elected president, rebirthing the Reconstruction Amendments. And that is obviously a big part of recapturing in the public imagination what happened to the Constitution after the Civil War, recapturing the framers that wrote slavery out of the Constitution instead of writing it into the Constitution. It's a big part of what Constitutional Accountability Center is all about. And it's also, we're partnering with American Constitution Society in the fall to do a big second founding conference up at Constitution Center in Philadelphia, which is a great collaboration. And obviously, so we'll be doing things on our own, but the bully pulpit of the presidency is like no other. And I guess I'd love your ideas in terms of how Senator Obama, if he's elected, or Senator Clinton, could drive that conversation. And Akil, I'd love any thoughts you have about what are the things that most need to be driven. How do you do that best? Any thoughts on that, Ron?
Well, if my pardon my excessive optimism here, but if my math is correct, we'd be celebrating the 150th anniversary of the 13th Amendment during the second Obama term. Maybe getting ahead of myself a little bit there, but I do think that I do think already, and this is where I guess I disagree with Dahlia. I think when you look at the sum and substance of what Senator Obama has said on the campaign trail, and particularly his speech at the National Constitution Center in Philadelphia and other remarks he's made, I think he is already giving, a very powerful voice to the ideal of equality and some of the core constitutional concepts, and I think is beginning this conversation about what a new sense of justice and reconciliation and equality would look like in America, and I hope he would bring that to the White House and would be a powerful voice for that. I do think, though, it is incumbent upon organizations like CAC and ACS and others to do a lot of the educating and to lay a lot of the groundwork so that progressive leaders can step in front of that and help lead the country in that direction.
Dahlia, Akil, anything to add to that?
Doug here from New Haven. I think just the very fact of these two extraordinary people, Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton, being plausibly presidential, this is not quite something that the founders might have envisioned. Hillary Clinton is an embodiment of the 19th Amendment vision that's the woman's suffrage amendment in the progressive era, that women are equal political participants. And the 19th Amendment itself only says the right to vote shall not be denied or abridged on account of the sex. But we need to understand that right to vote is an expansive idea of political equality, the right to vote in the legislature as well as for the legislature, the right to vote on a jury, the right to be voted for, the right to hold office. Hillary Clinton embodies the 19th Amendment idea that our Constitution, unlike the Framers' Constitution, is committed to the full political equality of women. And so, too, Barack Obama, just in his very being, in his presence, is a reminder of the 14th Amendment idea of equal citizenship, black and white. Of the 15th Amendment idea that blacks are equal political participants alongside whites, and of an integrationist vision, actually. If you're going to have blacks alongside whites in a jury room, in a legislature, that's actually an integrationist vision that by his very existence he embodies, connected as he is both to whites and blacks by ties of blood. Obama isn't, people talk about whether he reminds them more of Bobby Kennedy or John Kennedy or Martin Luther King. The person he reminds me most of is Lincoln. He's born in very, very low circumstances. Only in America could you sort of rise so high. His parents don't give him power or economic power or a fancy name or a political dynasty. He has young children. He chooses he chooses his own religion as an adult. Actually, these are all Lincolnian. He can give a pretty good speech too. By his very existence, I think, he summons up a vision of Lincoln, a vision of the Reconstruction generation. This is the vision more than, it's not quite James Madison's vision, but it's Thaddeus Stevens' vision and John Bingham's vision and Charles Sumner's vision. And if you don't know those names, some of you in the audience, you should. Those are the people that Ron was talking about, the leading Republicans who helped give you the 13th and 14th and 15th Amendment, this new birth of freedom that really, I think, has been under-attended to by people who claim fidelity to the Constitution and talk way too much about the founders and not nearly so much about the amenders.